So what we have right here is Saboom's update video that he just posted today. Interesting backstory. Saboom was the previous world record holder for this category. Spyro, 120%. That, as you guys know, I have record in now, and I play like every day. But this guy was the king of this category. Make no mistake, he was untouchable. Untouchable. Like a god for years. You cannot touch him. He was that good. Many minutes ahead of the competition. And I clawed my way up. I caught up to him, and as the years and time wore on, I got, especially as COVID times came around in 2020, I got more into streaming and more into playing Spyro, just in general, being a streamer and doing that whole thing. And Saboom sort of went his own way. I'm not going to say he like regressed or anything like that. He evolved in a different direction. I'll say he's gone through many like speedrunning retirements. If you guys are familiar with speedrunning at all, you'll know that like many speedrunners, go through like periods where they're really into running and then they have to kind of retire, whether it's from burnout or whatever. So he's had several retirements in the last year or two. And during those retirements, I keep up with the man. So during those retirements, he'll start making music. He'll start like doing all sorts of stuff. Stuff that I probably have no idea about. But he has a bunch of music that he just made on another channel that we could even check out if you guys want. But he just came back to his remaining YouTube channel. Keep in mind, when he retired recently, he deleted his YouTube channel and departnered his Twitch. I think he tried deleting his Twitch channel as well, which I think he has back now. But he deleted his main YouTube. So this is Saboom stuff 2 right here. And let's see what his February update has to say.
Hey guys, so I'm really bored for stuff in the video, I guess, because I want to play Spyro, but I don't have the stuff yet. The game.
Again, he's like sold his whole like fucking TV and Spyro setup twice at this point, maybe more. Think about that. You do something so hardcore, so many hours, and it's like, I want to move on. I need to fully get rid of this stuff. That's like his attitude. Very minimalist. I really like that. It's very monk-esque. I could never do that. Even if I were to move on from Spyro, I'd still have the game and everything here, It's really quiet. I have it turned up as much as possible. I could turn it up a little more on OBS here. I'll crank it up for you guys.
I have to say, you would say, well, obviously.
There we go. That should be better.
Meeting my goal. Actually, I'm gonna be going for the world record, so we're gonna see.
He's talking about Spyro 120% right now. You hear that? He says he's going for he wants to go for the world record again. That's huge.
Some nice competition that hasn't been exchanged in a little while.
He realizes that he's the only person that can compete with me in this category. I'm not saying that like I'm cool. It's just the matter of fact of the situation right now.
Not everybody does that because I have some of my own kind of theories. I think some speedrunners are pretty consumed with interaction, the interactivity aspect.
I wonder who he's talking about here.
Are probably consumed with their own.
I don't want to say he's talking about me, but I'm just saying, look, it's not just me. He's saying generally.
Their own self-image, like perpetuating kind of repetitiously who they are through their personality.
It's true.
As if there's something to prove,
It's kind of true. Why do I have to like put on a show for you guys? I don't. What do I have to prove here?
Whatever it be, or they're well aware that they're making content that people enjoy the grind. So subconsciously, I think some speedrunners will prolong their grind. Actually, it's totally subconsciously.
You guys know I've been playing this game I talk about someone who prolongs their grind. Yeah, I do that. And it's not like intentional, it's subconscious.
What I'm saying is there's a million distractions.
Like he said, it's a subconscious thing that just ends up happening.
This has been a theory of mine for a couple of years now, I guess, however long ago I first.
Yeah, it's not that I'm intentionally throwing runs for content, but in a way there is a subconscious effect somewhere there.
Diverting our attention and like focus to other things, distractions, and pop-ups, and chat messages, and everything. So, I really want to try and just like get back into Spyro and just get a PB, you know, just like get maybe a couple more PBs. I only PB by 1 second anyway, so it's quite a.
I love his attitude, his aura, the way he like describes things. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, it's really like relaxed. It relaxes me to hear him say like talk about things like this. I can't really describe it.
I'm somewhat interested more in like portraying a personality on Twitch, which is actually something quite new for me. I want to portray an entertainer, you know what I mean, like a performer. And yeah, that for the bulk of my career on my run on Twitch, that was never
entertainer. You say, huh?
I kind of tried to shy away from being anybody who would stand out as a person.
I'm gonna pause real quick. So, you guys, if you follow Saboom at all, you know that he is very focused on his runs when he plays. You know, sometimes he'll have a mic, sometimes he'll have the webcam, but normally the focus, and this is true for many speedrunners. Like, we can talk about very generally here, just how he talks generally about me and other streamers. I will talk generally about him and other speedrunners. That a lot of times it's all about focusing on the run, and that is like totally like valid and awesome, and I like that, and people like that. Now, what he's talking about here is he wants to be more of like the entertainer, you know, like what I am. Like, I talk to you guys all the time. I'm like talking shit. I'm still trying to get good runs, but I'm doing more than just like grinding runs here. I like to imagine that that's what's happening. So, one thing that I'll point out about this, like, is this is a real, like, this is kind of a huge perspective shift for, I think, for any speedrunner to like really look at, to want to do that. When me and him have hung out in person before, and you know, he never asked me like, hey, you know, like, what are some things that you do to like try to like make a stream more entertaining beyond speedrunning? He never asked me shit like that. We're just hanging out and just having a good time, you know? So this is like definitely, I think, a shift, you know, in mentality right now, which if he continues to have that mindset shift, it's going to have a big effect on the way he approaches the game and the way he approaches his stream. Let's keep watching.
Look at the game. Like, I don't even know why the webcam's here. I don't even know why I got the mic on.
Yeah, it's true. I think about that. Every speedrunner thinks about that. Why do I have a webcam? Why do I bother with a mic if I'm just going to be quiet the whole time?
Things that are just more fun and more maybe cringy or just whatever the hell it may be.
I like that he used the word cringy because that's exactly how I feel about what I do as an entertainer a lot. Like, to not be afraid to be like some cringy Let's Player, you know?
But when I can play Spyro, which will be over the next couple days, I plan on just like playing a lot of it in a short amount of time, which is it was my approach last time.
You hear that?
I don't remember the last time
That's where
I got down on it again. It would have been a couple months ago, but
that's where we diverge like crazy.
yeah.
His thinking face. I'm gonna pause real quick. So that last thing that he said is where he and I diverge like crazy, because his approach to speedrunning is like so the polar opposite of mine. If I'm like this person that's really concerned with like preserving my mental health and having fun with the game, still trying my best, you know, preserving like my mental acuity and all these like little excuses basically for not playing more than I do. You know, if I have all these little fucking excuses, they're all excuses if you want to look at them like that, for why I don't play like more hardcore than I do with, you know, no mic or for longer Spyro speedrunning sessions at a time. Saboom, on the other hand, is like, he's on the other side of the spectrum where he goes fucking hard. He'll have a 6-hour stream, or maybe he'll do recently when he was before his last retirement, he would do like he would do a few attempts, and then if they weren't working out, he'd just shut off his stream. He wouldn't even say bye or raid someone or whatever. Just shut off the stream, or maybe he'd like type in the chat like, all right, I'm gonna take a break, bye, and then shut off the stream and then come back like after, you know, taking a break in like an hour, 2 hours. Fuck, I could never do that, but it makes perfect sense because that's what you need to do to have like that high level of focus at all times. You need to take those little breaks, but I take like day-long breaks. You know, I take like I do my session for the day and then I'm done, right? And that's like part of me being a streamer and an entertainer, whatever, you know, is that I'm doing other stuff as well. And I have like that schedule, right? That's like another streamery thing. You have a schedule. But he doesn't think about it in those terms. And so his approach to speedrunning is so much different and a lot more effective, if you want to say it that way. I mean, just effective for him, you could say. A lot more of an effective approach to speedrunning. And so the really standout thing to me is that he's saying that he wants to grind hard and come back to it hard. But at the same time, he wants to also be a little bit more of like an interesting entertainer, content creator-esque, you know, personality that's more interactive or something along those lines. So I do feel like those two things for him are currently at odds with one another. But what I care most about more than any of that is that he's happy, you know, is that he's not like getting sad or depressed. I mean, you guys see me get sad and depressed when I play Spyro, you know, it's bad, you know, it's really bad. I think that's like the worst part of it, you know. And for me, whatever approach he takes, I want the one that makes him happy. That's the one I want for him. It's not, I don't even want the one that like gets the world record, or for him or for me or whatever. I want the one that makes us happy, you know. And for us, because we're so like passionate and I guess you could say competitive or just really passionate Spyro players, it just so happens that the path that makes us the most happy also results in like a world record or a PB. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue.
If I can get that to work.
I mean, hopefully result in a PB, I should say.
Because honestly, I'd like to kind of just like do a little bit less with Spyro, as a matter of fact. Like I said, I have interests that are leading me elsewhere as far as the content that I would be sharing on the
Keep in mind, he said he wants to go hard on Spyro earlier. Now he's like kind of shifting it a little bit, like maybe a little less. He's been making a lot of music lately, and so I think he's like, I think he's bridging those two, that whole thing in his mind right now, which is like, I think something we all go through as streamers. If you're trying to like, you know, actually be like a full-time creator.
But
whatever that means, you know what I mean?
It's only going
Full-time.
on some kind of wonky path. So, oh, and then a little more on Spyro. There may very well be a special event or in early March. I'm not going to say what it is yet.
I'm not going to say what it is either. But let me just tell you, it's between me and him. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you for watching.
It's coming.
And watch you for thank you.
I will give you one more clue. It's nothing that you guys haven't seen already between us. But hopefully, the stakes are a little higher. And I think this is his PB or something. Yeah. Nice title. I like that title. Oh, it's in multiple parts. I think this is not his. He has a 53 now. I want to say. I don't remember. 40 something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah. That's Saboom right there. That's the man. Let me turn on my music again. Oh, sorry, that was really loud. My bad. Sorry to your ears. So that's him. That's the guy. That's really my hero in Spyro. That you guys just saw right there. If you guys aren't already familiar with him, that's him. Most of you guys here know who he is. If you follow Spyro 1 speedrunning at all, you know who that guy is. But if you just know me, you know, then it's like, who the fuck is this guy? This is the guy that I thought I would never touch for like 6 years of speedrunning this game. The guy I thought, he was like the shining example of something that I could never achieve. And now look at this. I'm like sitting here with like a bajillion viewers, like watching his little update video about how he's coming out of retirement for the 3rd time and kind of assessing whether he has what it takes to beat me. Like, I mean, how the tables have turned. I don't mean to like flex or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's just time really changes your circumstances. Time and effort change your circumstances like crazy. And I would have never expected that this thing that you're seeing on stream right now was even remotely possible. For years, I spent years convincing myself that this moment couldn't exist. And I still played Spyro anyways, just because I liked it. So, to being dedicated to what you do, to coming in and out of retirement, to doing things the way you want to do them, whether someone else thinks it's right or thinks it's wrong, or whether it's similar to what, you know, your idol or to your enemy or your competitor or your friend, to however you do things in life, the fact that you're trying, that you're chasing some goal, some intrinsic goal, I say cheers to that. Cheers to you for trying your fucking best. So cheers.